Okay, now for the guided practice. So let's look at number one. Number one, we have just a normal sphere. This is just a normal sphere. So to get the volume, we need to do 4/3 pi r cubed. So our radius is 1. We plug that in, we'll say 4/3 pi times 1 cubed, which will give us 4/3 pi. 4/3 pi, and then our units are meters. So meters cubed. Okay, now we need the surface area. So for surface area of a sphere, that's going to be 4 pi r squared. 4 pi times 1 squared. That leaves us with just 4 pi. So we'll say 4 pi meters squared. There's number one. Now for number two. Number two is a hemisphere. So we'll have to use the formulas for a hemisphere to solve this one. Which for volume, that's just going to be, instead of 4/3, we'll say 2/3 pi r cubed. Now if we look at the picture, the radius is 11. So we say 2/3 pi times 11 cubed. And since our directions say give it in terms of pi, we'll put everything but the pi in the calculator. And it'll give us a pretty big fraction. It'll give us 2,662 over 3. 2662 over 3. We're going to leave it like that and then just fill in our pi and then our units. So inches cubed. Then we have the surface area. So surface area for a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared. We'll do 3 pi times 11 squared. And that'll get us 363 pi. So 363 pi inches squared. But pretty straightforward. We just take r and plug into the formula. Now, let's look at number 3. Number 3 tells us that we need to first find the radius of a sphere that has a volume of 288 pi centimeters cubed. Okay, well, we know it's a normal sphere, so we can say that volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. They tell us the volume. They say it's 288 pi. So plug that in. And then at this point, we can cancel the pi's out. So we're dividing, essentially we're dividing by pi. So that's going to be 288 equals 4/3 r cubed. Now, I need to get rid of this 4/3, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/4. Those go away. 3/4 of 288 is 216. So to get rid of this cube, I'll take the cube root. Instead of square root, we're doing the cube root. And the cube root of 216 is 6. So there's our radius. Radius is 6 centimeters. Now they ask us for surface area. So that's going to be 4 pi r squared. We just said the r was 6, so plug that in. And that'll get us 144 pi centimeters squared. So that's our final answer, 144 pi centimeters squared. Okay, next one. So same thing, we want to find the volume and surface area of the sphere. So this is a sphere. But this time they give us the diameter. This is D, this is not R. So remember, to get radius, you have to divide the diameter by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. That's what we use for radius. So volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So it'd be 4/3 pi times, excuse me, 8 cubed. Type everything in but the pi. And you'll get another lovely fraction. Don't you just love fractions? 2048 over 3. And then we're going to have pi yards cubed. Then we have total surface area. That's going to be 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi, r is 8. So 4 pi times 8 squared. That'll give us 256 pi yards squared. Again, we have another sphere on number 5, but they keep changing things on us. Keep making it more and more difficult. Why? Why? It's not too bad though. They tell us the area of this circle at the widest part of the sphere is 49 pi. What do we know about a circle? The area for a circle is pi r squared. Well, they tell us that's going to be 49 pi. So instantly we can cancel the pi's out. Essentially, we're dividing by pi. So it's going to be 49 equals r squared. Square root it. Square root of 49 is 7. So the radius is 7. Well, that's all we need. So let's plug in. Volume, we want to do 4/3 pi r cubed. So 4/3 pi times 7 cubed. And yet again, we're going to get another lovely fraction. 1372 over 3. And then we're going to have pi centimeters cubed. Then we do total surface area. So 4 pi r squared. So it'll be 4 pi times 7 squared, which you put everything in but the pi, and you get 196 pi as your answer. So 196 pi centimeters squared is our total surface area. Now, last one. They want us to find the surface area and volume. Notice they ask us to do both surface area and volume of the composite figure and leave our answer in terms of pi. So if we're looking at this, notice here that we have 2 halves of a sphere. If you put the 2 halves together, what do you get? You get a whole sphere. So together these make a whole sphere. Okay, so let's do surface area first. Let's do the surface area of the sphere. Well, we know that's going to be 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi, the radius is 2 squared. So this will give us 16 pi. Then we need the surface area of the cylinder. So in case you forgot, that's going to be, now let's think about this for a second. Surface area of the cylinder, what kind of surface area do we want? Do we want to include the bases in this? No, we don't, because the bases are actually inside the shape. We put spheres on the end, and that took our bases away. So we just need lateral area of the cylinder. So lateral area is 2 pi RH. So it's going to be 2 pi, R is 2, H is 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So we have 20 pi. So total, we add them together, and for total surface area, we get 36 pi feet squared. Now let's get the volume of the sphere. So we got surface area, now we need to do volume. So volume is 4/3 pi r cubed, which would be 4/3 pi. Radius is 2 cubed. So we get a fraction. It's going to be 16 over 3 pi. Okay. Now let's do volume of the cylinder. Remember, that's BH, but the area of the base is a circle. So pi r squared times h. It's going to be pi times 2 squared times 5. Which will give us 20 pi. Again, to get the total volume, we add these up. And we're going to leave it as a fraction because, like I said before, I want exact answers. So we'll say 76 over 3 pi feet cubed. That's our exact volume. Now, when you enter these in Google, just as a refresher, and this goes for all of the problems here, you can find the pi if you wish. Some of y'all figured out how to put pi in there, some haven't. But you would say, at a bare minimum, I need you to say 36 pi feet to the second power. Like you've done on all the others on this unit. That's what I need at a bare minimum for that one. For these that have fractions, I would like you to put the fraction in parentheses. So 76 divided by 3. And then you can either put pi, or like the pi symbol, or the letters pi. And then feet to the third power. So this goes for all of them on this assignment, even the ones we did, 1 through 5. That's how I want you to enter them. 36 pi feet to the second power, and 76 over 3 in parentheses, pi feet to the third power. So, okay, there's our assignment. There's our guided practice, I should say. We've done half of the assignment together. So, hop to it. If you have questions, you know how to reach me.